Imagine stepping into a living cathedral, an endless vaulted dome of emerald leaves, draped in mist, dripping with moisture, humming with life you cannot fully see. But beneath that beauty, there is menace. This is the Congo Rainforest, vast, ancient, vibrant, and unforgiving. It is one of the last places on Earth where exploration still feels like venturing into the unknown, and to those who dared, it has inspired awe, horror, and, sometimes, tragedy. Today we ask, why does the Congo Rainforest terrify explorers? What forces, natural, human, psychological, turn this jungle into both cradle of life and crucible of nightmares? Let's journey into the green abyss. The Congo Basin is enormous, spanning 6 countries across Central Africa. Its forests cover more than 178 million hectares. The Democratic Republic of Congo alone contains about 107 million hectares of rainforest, more than half of the region's forest cover. For centuries, explorers heard whispers, trees so tall they blot out the sun, rivers that twist through imperceptible turns, vast swamps that swallow men, and tribes whose names appeared more in myth than maps. Some thought the land held lost civilizations. Others hoped for undiscovered species, new routes, the chance to carve one's name across uncharted territory. But many who entered never returned, or returned broken. The Congo was long dubbed the Dark Continent by European colonial powers, not only because of the dense forests and opaque rivers, but because it resisted mapping, resisted control, resisted being tamed. Yet explorers didn't simply dismiss it. The lure was strong: fortune, fame, colonial ambition, scientific curiosity, or even sheer hubris. The horrors within its tangled depths were either underestimated or romanticized, until they could no longer be ignored. Let's talk terrain. It's not just jungle. It is swamp, mire, quagmire, ridge, river, plateau, and transitions so abrupt that one step can take you from dry path to hip-deep sludge. The undergrowth is dense. Vines twist like serpents. Roots burst from the ground in armies. Fallen logs rot into spongy traps. Rain is constant. Daily storms can flood paths, carve new gullies, turn the forest floor into a sticky, shifting mess. Mist creeps in, reducing visibility to a few meters, sometimes less. One moment, explorers might navigate a narrow ridge. The next, they find themselves knee-deep in a peat swamp that seems to have no bottom. These peatland forests are now known to be widespread in the Congo Basin, storing vast amounts of carbon, but also generating hidden dangers when water levels shift. Paths rarely last. Overnight, a stream might change course, or fallen trees and landslides block routes. You think you know your direction, and then your map fails you. Rivers scramble everything. They aren't static straight lines. Water levels fluctuate rapidly. Rapids, submerged rocks, new sandbanks, shifting currents, all conspire to turn a calm stream into a deadly cascade. In many places, the forest itself is the enemy. Lianas that catch your gear, branches that lash like whips, trees that snap under wind, and canopy gaps that drop unforeseen obstacles. You may move 10 meters and lose all sense of orientation. Add insects, vines, hidden sinkholes, and darkness, and the terrain alone becomes a brutal opponent. The Congo is not just difficult to traverse, it's armed. Deep in the forest lurk beasts both feared and misunderstood. Big cats, leopards prowl the shadows, rare, stealthy, perfectly adapted to the vertical world of the forest. Forest elephants wielding raw power can charge when startled. Hippopotamuses inhabit the waters. Their aggression is legendary when you get too close. Crocodiles lie motionless under rivers, appearing as logs until they strike. Reptiles and snakes, from boas to vipers, camouflaged, silent, lethal. Insects, mosquitoes, tsetse flies, biting midges, parasites of all sorts, disease vectors that turn a wound into a death sentence. Pathogens, malaria, yellow fever, sleeping sickness, filarial worms, and fungal infections, infections that thrive in the humid dark. Hidden hazards, venomous frogs, toxic plants, fungal spores, parasites in water. Every step is risk. A single cut, bite, or exposure can be fatal. The forest doesn't wait. Some regions of the Congo forest are not just wet, they are waterlogged for months. Quagmires can swallow boots, packs, even legs. Peat bogs can appear solid but collapse under weight. Explorers sometimes disappeared beneath the wet earth. Miasmas of microbes rise from stagnant water. Fungal infections, waterborne parasites, leeches, disease-laden frogs or amphibians. Drinking what seems like clear water may invite death. Mosquito swarms breed in hidden pools, and in the damp, fungal spores grow rampant, infecting lungs, eyes, skin. Expect 90 to 100% humidity. Rain daily, sometimes torrential. Heat that wears you down. Mist, fog, thick air that slows breathing. The jungle can feel like a pressure chamber. Sleep is difficult. Insomnia, exhaustion, dehydration, often companions of those deep inside. Temperature swings, though dampened, occur. Cool nights, scalding days, sudden storms. The forest's microclimates, ridges may catch wind, valleys retain heat and moisture. The stress on the human body is relentless. An explorer's greatest enemy may be inside. Fear, doubt, hallucination. You press onward day by day, drenched, sleep-deprived, hearing distant calls you can't place. The forest whispers. At night, shadows flicker. Sounds surround you from all sides. Branches creak. Insects click. Animals in the underbrush rustle. Is that a vine? A snake? A human presence? Disorientation is constant. Without clear landmarks, explorers lose bearings. Compass anomalies, magnetic interference from mineral-rich soils, and blocked sky views can render maps useless. You may walk in circles, unknowingly. Isolation adds to it. No cell signal, no rescue. Your team, if present, is your only anchor. If someone is injured or lost, choices are terrible. Press on or risk everything to backtrack. And mental fatigue creeps slowly. Paranoia, hallucinations, nightmares. You may begin to hear voices or imagine shapes moving. Each rustle becomes a possible predator. Every drop of water echoes. The forest feels alive in malignant ways. Some explorers wrote that the jungle seemed to conspire against them. Trees falling, canoes capsizing, equipment failing. Astonishing coincidences of misfortune. Whether supernatural or simply a product of extreme stress, the effect is the same: dread. Beyond nature, the forest conceals human dangers too. Conflict and political instability. The Congo region has seen centuries of colonial exploitation, civil war, militia activity, rebel groups, and weak governance. National parks and borders sometimes overlap with contested zones. Explorers may cross through territories controlled by armed groups or criminal gangs. Poachers, illegal miners, warlords, all operate in remote regions. A foreign party might be seen as prey or threat. Kidnappings and ambushes are real risks. Park rangers have died defending protected areas. Some reserves are so dangerous they require military escorts. Some explorers were caught in crossfire, misidentified, or pressured by corrupt officials. The forest may provide cover, but also conceal danger. Disease and lack of medical infrastructure. Disease is a silent killer. Malaria, hemorrhagic fevers, Ebola for example, yellow fever, cholera, dysentery. These are not remote hazards, they are immediate threats. One mosquito bite, one sip of contaminated water, one untreated cut, and everything can unravel. In remote regions, medical care is minimal or non-existent. Evacuation is nearly impossible. A wound that would be simple in a hospital becomes life-threatening. Add to that supply chain issues. Food scarcity, spoilt rations, spoiled water, lack of antibiotics, tropical ulcers, parasites in every pore. Corruption and local tensions. Not all threats are violent. Local communities often depend on forests. Some view outsiders suspiciously. A party may be forced to pay protection money or navigate complicated local politics and tribal sensitivities. Bribes, theft, sabotage, gear or provisions stolen, porters deserting, local guides misleading. Trust is fragile. Missteps in respect or customs can be costly or fatal. Explorers who dismiss local knowledge or treat locals poorly risk alienating potential allies or earning enemies. Let's pause and remember past explorers whose stories became whispers in the jungle. The myths and fables. From colonial times, tales circulated of lost cities, white gods, cursed lands, cannibal tribes, invisible spirits, most dismissed as fantasy. Yet for those in the jungle, the boundary between myth and reality is thin. The doomed expeditions. Some expeditions vanished entirely. Others staggered back in ruin. Jean-Baptiste Duville claimed to have explored the Congo, but was later exposed as a fraud. Many expeditions of the 19th and early 20th centuries lost huge portions of their parties to disease, starvation, attacks, or sheer exhaustion. Even well-prepared scientific teams can fail. The jungle is not conquered lightly. Indigenous knowledge versus explorer hubris. It's not that indigenous and forest peoples didn't know this land, they did intimately over millennia. They navigated the rivers, understood the beasts, carried medicine, had taboos and warnings. But explorers often dismissed that knowledge and paid for it. The forest punishes arrogance. Many current researchers and Congolese scientists now assist in demystifying parts of this great wilderness, but they still speak of it with reverence and fear. Today, exploration is not about imperial conquest, but about understanding biodiversity, climate, conservation, and sustainability. Scientific frontiers. Recently, scientists discovered vast peatlands in the Congo Basin, covering some 16.8 million hectares and storing enormous carbon reserves. These peatlands were unknown until satellite and fieldwork revealed their scale, meaning much of the forest's interior is still very poorly mapped or understood. Sensor towers, drones, LiDAR, remote cameras, all tools to peer into the forest's heart. But to plant a tower, you need boots on the ground. At one site, Yangambi in the DRC, scientists installed a 180-foot metal flux tower to monitor gas exchange, CO2 drawdown, in real time. Fearing nothing but the elements, researchers climb daily to gather data. Teams must haul equipment, cut paths, navigate swamps, and contend with humid chaos to reach blank spots on the map. The forest is still largely a blank spot in climate science. Conservation and local partnerships. Local researchers and indigenous communities now play central roles. They know the forest's rhythms. They identify hidden rivers, species, medicinal plants, migration patterns. Their contributions are essential to safe exploration and valid science. Yet they also face the same threats: disease, lack of funding, political instability. Many expeditions are joint ventures between foreign institutions and local agencies, not conquest but co-creation. Dangers persist. Modern teams still lose equipment to floods, winds, tree fall, termite damage, power failures, or thieves. In the Congo, more than one-third of the basin overlaps with planned or existing oil and gas exploration zones. That means pipelines, road construction, environmental degradation, broken ecosystems that increase human danger and degrade forests. Illegal logging, deforestation, mining, and encroachment push explorers toward conflict zones or degraded areas where the forest is less forgiving. Conservationists warn that rapid expansion of industrial agriculture for palm oil, rubber, may open more forests to exploitation and violence. So the frontier is collapsing even as explorers push inward. The forest is shrinking, fractured, under siege. Putting it all together, let me summarize the layered reasons the Congo Rainforest terrifies explorers. 1. Physical hostility. Terrain that fights back, swamps that trap, rivers that shift, constant rain, suffocating humidity. 1. Predatory nature. Animals, pathogens, parasites, insects, toxins, everything capable of killing quietly or violently. 1. Psychological warfare. Disorientation, isolation, hallucination, paranoia. The jungle's soundscape and shadows prey on the mind. 1. Human danger. War, armed groups, poachers, crime, local disputes, disease, corruption, theft. 1. Logistical impossibility. Supply lines collapse, maps fail, communication is severed, evacuation is nearly impossible. 1. Legacy and myth. Stories of vanished parties, curses, and ancestral warnings add to the weight of dread. 1. Unpredictability and scale. No matter how prepared you are, scale multiplies your risk. One mistake in such volume can be fatal. Explorers venture into uncertainty, but in the Congo, Uncertainty is magnified into peril. Let me take you on a hypothetical journey, through the eyes of an explorer, so you can feel how dread piles on. You land at a riverside village. The villagers nod, wary but hopeful. You hire guides, mules, porters. You carry gear, cameras, drones, tents, medicines, machetes, GPS, supplies. Day 1, you cut through secondary forest. You see monkeys, hear cicadas, feel sweat drip. It's thrilling. Days 2 to 3, you enter primary forest. The canopy tightens, light dims, mist clings, the undergrowth thickens. The porters slow, water crossings come. Day 4, you wade through a swamp. The water rises, you lose boots. A porter's leg sinks briefly before he flails out. Everyone's water-soaked, morale low. Night 4, rain pounds, the tent leaks, sleep is broken. You hear rustling, the crack of branches. You lie awake, heart pounding. Day 5, a map says a river should cross, but it's missing. Instead, there's a tributary you didn't know. You must detour, adding hours, maybe days. Midday heat and humidity crush energy. A team member collapses with fever. You don't know if it's malaria or dengue. There's no clinic for days. Your GPS glitches, minerals interfere. You question direction. Are you walking north, south, east? You pause at what seems like a fork, but which way? You check your food. Supply is tight. Rations must be stretched. The porters whisper fearfully. One says he saw movement in the distance. Night 5. Sleep doesn't come. You hear voices, or think you do. Something slides across leaves outside. You grip your knife. You wonder if that shadow is a leopard, a snake, or nothing at all. Day 6. You press onward. A sudden storm floods a trail. Logs shift. The river becomes a torrent. Your canoe capsizes. Equipment is lost or damaged. You scramble ashore on unknowable bank. The forest is silent, ominously so. You regain composure, reorganize. But now you're behind schedule. Supplies diminish, team morale fractures. You must decide, turn back or push onward to the unknown. Yet despite the terror, some explorers prevail. And what they discover reshapes our world. They map unseen rivers, document species new to science, understand carbon flows, help with conservation, and record indigenous cultures before they vanish. They build trust with forest peoples, bring healthcare, education, technology. They turn fear into knowledge. In recent years, Congolese scientists and conservation teams, often in partnership with international groups, have proven that with local knowledge, respect, and perseverance, you can push deeper and safer. Some research stations now monitor climate flux continuously. Remote sensing reveals hidden peatlands. Conservation groups fight pipelines. Local communities defend land rights. The forest may be daunting, but it is not invincible. So the Congo Rainforest terrifies explorers, but we still need those explorers, carefully, respectfully, wisely. The Congo Basin is the world's second largest rainforest, and one of Earth's most important carbon sinks. It may absorb more carbon than it emits. Damage it, and we damage the planet. Deforestation, oil exploration, mining, agriculture, climate change, they are breaking the edges and weakening resilience. The future of the forest is contested territory. Expeditions must become guardians, not conquerors. Local voices must lead. Respect and equity are essential. Drones, LiDAR, satellites, AI models. These are powerful tools. They allow us to peer without trampling. But there is still no substitute for walking the forest floor, hearing its whispers, feeling its dangers. Combining tech with indigenous wisdom is our best hope. We must map the unmapped, catalog species before extinction, monitor climate, and protect. Explorers of tomorrow must accept that they are guests. The forest does not yield to force. We must listen, adapt, and learn. Yes, the Congo rainforest terrifies, and that's part of its majesty. It demands respect. It repels hubris. But in that tension lies our greatest discoveries, of life, of limits, and of ourselves. So let us step forward, not as conquerors, but as humbled seekers. The Congo rainforest is not a playground. It is a crucible. To explore it is to dance on the edge of danger, and emerge changed. May this story remind us, the world still holds places we barely understand, and those places demand our awe, our care, and our humility. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you next time.